Welcome to RPG Book Club LongCast, a podcast where we play a itty-bitty bit of a biggy big video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I'm David Bernard Hauk.
And I'm Mighty Grace Weapon.
And today we'll be playing part 4 of Final Fantasy XIII-2, which is covering Episode 3, Part 2, which is the section at the Soonleth Waterscape.
And they had to do it so that now the episode number and our episode number won't line up anymore. They had to split Chapter 3 into two parts for some reason, even though they're completely unrelated.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you beat it this week, there's like a throwaway line. Oh, we'll just let Hope deal with that because this has anything to do with Hope. Okay, moving on to Chapter 4 now. And it's stupid. But before we get to that, we have our top 5 of the week. And our top 5 are our top 5 little guys.
Maddie Grace suggested this.
Yeah. It's just because we hadn't thought of anything. I gotta say, I acknowledge there's a little bit of overlap with Pokemon, but not all Pokemon are little guys. Only some Pokemon are little guys, okay?
And not all little guys are Pokemon.
Exactly. There's lots of little guys out there. So, and I'm not going with top 5 because, like, there's so, like, we live in a world that is just rich with little guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna say, here's some guys. Okay, that's it. There's no top 5 to it. One of the best little guys of all time, though, I will say without having to think about it, Jack Frost.
Jack Frost is a little guy.
From Shinigami Tensei?
You gotta get hee-ho mindset. You know what I mean?
Jack Frost is such a good little guy.
Yeah, and let's not do any repeats. That's why it's not top 5. It's just, let's just say, actually, it's just what's 5, right? Another one, little guy. This is a real world, an IRL little guy. Although they're not that little. Capybaras. Because what's better than a little guy who's also a big boy?
Yes, They're known for being the biggest of their kind. Yeah. But they're still little guys.
They're still little guys. They're the biggest of the little guys. Love them. Love Capies. Some other little guys. I'm going to have to give a shout out to one of the greatest little guys, another one of the greatest little guys of all time. He's in the spotlight, or they've been in the spotlight lately. That's right. I'm talking about Booyah. Talking about Kirby, folks. Kirby. Absolute. Huh?
Kirby is a phenomenal little guy.
Yeah. Absolutely top tier little guy. I like how technically, according to lore, they do not have a gender, but I'm going to call him a boy because when I see him, I'm like, look at that sweet little boy, look at that sweet little fella. But they can be whatever they want to be. So we got Kerbo. Another all-time great little guy is I'll let y'all mention some.
Well, a great little guy is the slime from Dragon Quest.
See, I knew one of y'all was going to say that one, so I didn't say it. There you go.
And, I'm thinking of the slime from Dragon Quest, Jack Frost from Megaton, but Final Fantasy does not have an iconic basic enemy little guy.
They don't have a basic little guy. It's true. It's the problem with the series.
Like, actually. In Final Fantasy 1, the basic enemy is a goblin, and it's not a good little guy. And there's not a consistent little guy that you kill at the beginning of each game.
There is not, but I feel the series as a whole makes, in certain games, makes chocobos into little guys. And chocobo of like Chocobo Mystery Dungeon and Chocobo GP, that style chocobo is a pretty good little guy.
Yes, that's a good little guy.
Or like FF13 Sauce's beard chocobo, or Sauce's hair chocobo.
Yeah, he's a great little guy.
I am excited for Chocobo GP. I bet it's going to rule.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And no one's going to play it because it's not Mario Kart.
Yep. Watch it be the new second best kart racer of all time, and now we have to convince people to play 2 other games that aren't Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
So, some Sam Allman answers of some little guys. So in Digimon Fusion, there's these side characters that their whole fusion is they become weapons, and they're called Starmons and Pikmons. And there's some great little guys. There's like hundreds of these little guys.
Oh, those are really good. good. I like the little guys. Ooh,
Yeah.
that reminds me of one. Here's a great little guy, although it's also a category little guy. It would take me too long to look him up specifically. Gyroids.
Gyroids are great little guys.
Specifically, I'm going to say the gyroids from Animal Crossing New Horizons are wonderful. Of course, one of them become kind of a meme, Crumploid, because he looks like he's in pain and just really suffering, which is cute and kind of funny. But yeah, all the gyroids are just absolute top tier guys.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I suppose Final Fantasy as a series does have their little guys in the Moogles. Moogles, their designs do vary a lot. I do really like the Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced Moogles, the sort of like slim Moogles. Although most Moogles are pretty great.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ivalice Moogles. So the other little guy I have, I'm not finding a good picture, so you'll have to just trust me. And if I do find a picture, I will show you. But in season 1 of Pretty Cure, their main bad guys are called Zakinas, and when they defeat a Zakina, they blow up into a bunch of tiny little baby Zakinas, and the little baby ones are the good little guys. The big ones are like gross, just like goopy monsters, but the little ones are little guys. And I really love them.
I just realized you said Pikmin are good little guys. Well, Pikmin are good little guys.
Oh, Pikmin are great little guys.
They're very little.
I was thinking that we should pick one particular Pikmin to be our little guy representative. Do anybody want to nominate one?
Ooh.
I really like the pink ones at least from Pikmin 3. I don't know. It's the only one I've played.
Those are
the pink ones that like fly. Those are really good.
My nominee would be the rock Pikmin.
Rock Pikmin are great little guys too.
They're so good.
I really like purple Pikmin, but I'm gonna have to go classic and say yellow Pikmin.
They're good.
With their big ears, they fly the farthest when you throw them. They can use bomb rocks in the first game. They're resistant to electricity in the second game. They have range.
You love a little guy with range. One of those like overly sweet little guys. One more. This is my last one. Is the sheep from Final Fantasy XIII-2 that showed up this week, but also previous weeks. They look just like sheep, and they're cute because sheep are cute. But actually, if you really look at them, they're like kind of weird looking with it. They got like they're actually like their bodies are sheep, but they have like little like they have like duck faces. They're fucking weird, and I really like them.
That reminds me of great little guys in Elden Ring, the goats.
I've heard that game's full of little guys.
The goats, they look like sort of just like regular goats, but if you run up to them, they get scared and they roll away. They curl up into a ball and roll away like Sonic the Hedgehog.
I love that. So that's, Bernard, you've mentioned 3 little guys. Sam, you've mentioned 2, so we need a total of 5 more little guys.
I did mention squirrels are good little guys.
Squirrels when I was out of commission, I guess. Yeah, squirrels are great little guys.
Yeah. I love squirrels. So I need one more.
Yeah.
Drakis from Dragon Quest.
Oh, yes, they're so good.
There's lots of good little guys in Dragon Quest.
I mean, I can pick up the slack if y'all need some more little guys. Like I said, me and my girlfriend are connoisseurs of little guys. All right, so there's the dog from the "Don't Ever Talk to Me or My Son Ever Again" meme.
I don't know if I've seen this specific. I'm guessing this is the origin of the meme.
Yeah, like the originator of the meme. It's really good. Whatever. It's just a what do you call it? A dachshund being small and fucking adorable. And then final little guy. Let's go with I can think of something I don't like too much.
I'll tell you who's a good little guy.
Yeah.
Tofu-chan, the Shiba Inu from Australia, who speaks with the Japanese man's voice on YouTube.
Oh, yes.
And does
very good little guy.
Does inspirational videos.
There we go. So there's 15, not the top, just 15 little guys that we thought of, because this chapter features very heavily little guys, although they're not. I would not call them in the top anything of little guys. They're actually very bad. They're very low tier little guys, actually. Low energy. Yeah,
they're not the best little guys. I'd say they're middling.
Yeah, they're okay. They're not sending their best, honestly.
Mm-hmm. So, are we ready to move on?
Yeah, talk about Final Fantasy XIII-2, part 3.2.
I am. So let's listen to some sort of music and then talk about some sort of plot.
Sunlit Waterscape had some cool new tracks, and also they played the original track for like 5 seconds in one area.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, oh, cool.
So we highlight Sunlit Waterscape 300 AF, and the hot voice tells us that even without the Falsey overseers, nature has flourished here amid the decaying cities of Cocoon. Sorry about that. Yet the seeds of destruction are quietly being sown. Noel and Sarah see cute little flans multiplying and worry they mean the end of the world, so they have to stop them. Sarah's mind is overtaken, and she says with a voice not her own, "The daughters of the sundered cocoon are sacrificed to beasts that warp time itself. The pillar crumbles to ashen sand, and down to earth cocoon does fall." Sarah has a vision of a dude getting owned by a giant flan and runs off. Could it have been Snow? Noel wonders if Sarah had a vision and if she has the same power as Yule. The game, since Sarah ran away, now Noel is the leader, and I get annoyed because that means when I get Sarah back, I'm going to have to go through the trouble of setting her as the leader, and I have to remember how to change leader.
I use Noel as leader all the time because I think it's actually better to have, I think it's a lot easier to have whoever is going to be your commando as the leader. So I have Noel as leader, usually.
But I like Sarah more than I like Noel.
Yeah, sure. And I like to be the one that's doing the most changing as my leader. So that's why I like Sarah, because Noel is almost always commando. But Sarah will be Ravager and then maybe switch to commando or something like that.
That's true. Although having it's mostly just because I got used to it because I was I was always like lightning right before.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: having your commando as the person you're controlling is sometimes really important because you might want to very quickly queue up a single attack instead of letting your meter fill all the way to stop something's stagger meter from resetting.
Yeah,
and to me that happens sense. Like a lot.
That makes sense. So Noel follows Sarah and sees her cradling an injured Snow. He looks different. He has bad hair, but he's still hot. A giant flan is about to own Snow and Sarah, but Noel saves them. Snow says he'll give Noel a hand, but Noel tells him, "No, get out of here. The game mechanics don't support you taking part in a battle." But Snow says, "Don't worry, I'm just going to do some basic shit attacks governed by AI and not actually affect the battle." They fight the flan and win, but it won't stay dead, so they run away. Noel and Snow butt heads a little. Noel thinks Snow is an idiot. Snow doesn't have a counter argument. Sarah and Noel explain everything to Snow, then ask Snow why he's here in the future. Snow says lightning appeared in his dreams too, so he hopped through time like it was no big deal to look for her. He learned the monster they were fighting knocks Cocoon down out of the sky. Noel says the stories in his time say it was brought down by war. Snow explains that the flan is slowly melting the crystal pillar, and when it gets weak, the people will panic and start killing each other. Snow says his mission was to stop that thing for lightning and to save Vanille and Fang. Sarah hypothesizes that the flan is the result of a paradox, and they set off to find an artifact. They find an artifact. Noel makes up some bullshit about why Snow can't come with them through the gate. Snow says whatever and tries to go through the gate, but it doesn't work. Snow's like, okay, y'all go through. Don't do anything I would. Noel and Sarah make Snow promise not to do heroics. He seems like he's going to do heroics. The gate unlocks the Arkilt Step. I think that's how they pronounced it. I can't actually remember.
Yeah, I always thought it was like Arcolite Step because I didn't notice that the Y and the L actually weren't in that order. But then this week I did notice that, and I was like, oh.
Yep. I like how these just random-ass names they gave just wide areas of Grand Pulse in the first game now are like actual places, and like we have to say the name of them.
Yeah. It used to just be like, yeah, here's Grand Pulse. You got the part up there, you got the part over there, you got the part over there.
Yeah. Now we actually have to say Yashis Mashif, which is a bit of a tongue twister.
You do. I don't.
That's true, me either.
Yes. Anyway, we go to the Arkilt Step, year unknown. The hot voice says a tribe of badass people live here off these desolate lands, but the hunters whisper of a fearsome newcomer to the prairie that threatens to upset the balance of their lives. Noel and Sarah introduce themselves to the hunters and run some errands for them to earn their trust. The hunters have been troubled by a storm caused by a dragon that's been gobbling flans. Noel and Sarah decide the flans it's eating must be going through time and space to Sunleth Waterscape due to a paradox. You know. They head off to defeat the dragon, and it is a thrilling battle. How did y'all feel about this battle?
I liked it, but because I was on easy, it was over before I really even started.
I have been finding the battle system pretty consistently thrilling in general. And I really like some of the random battles on the Arkilt Step. If you venture off the beaten path, it can get really, really difficult. I actually found this battle to be rather easy. I don't know if I was over leveled or if I was just good, but the first time it mopped the floor with me, and I thought, oh fuck, I better change up my shit. But then it turns out, when I tried it again, I just kind of like, did better. One thing that was annoying, though, I will say, is I was trying to go, what's it called? Saboteur mode on it, right? So I switched to like my boss loadout because I have like a different set of paradigms for bosses. And I have one that's like Sentinel. It's like a good starter, right? It's like Sentinel, Saboteur. And the annoying thing I found out is the newest spell that Sarah like just learned as a Saboteur is Imperil. And the thing is, Imperil is a really, really good spell. What it does is, if you hit someone with it, it makes them more susceptible to status effects. They might sound like a little dull, and I guess it is not very exciting, but it makes them a lot more susceptible to status effects. It also makes them more susceptible to getting like knocked. Like, sometimes when you hit someone, it actually will cancel their animations. It makes more susceptible to getting knocked. And I think other stuff as well. It just makes them imperiled, makes them more susceptible. It's a really, really good move. Problem is, she would not stop using it. And it was not going to take. And I'm like, bitch, just cast Deprotect. Just cast Deprotect, for the love of God. Just cast will you please just cast Deprotect? And she wouldn't. And this is now a problem. And I don't know what to do about it, which is lame. Also, my little Pokemon that I had that knew that it was a Saboteur, its best move is like Hurt, which is like, it's a boss. so I reduce its max health by like a little bit. Who cares? Please just like cast poison. But luckily, I did y'all happen to catch a lot of Pokemon this week?
Yes, I caught one that I'm very excited to talk about.
Really weird. Like I think it's like I hardly ever caught any. This time it was like every other battle I was getting the crystals. I'm not sure. Maybe the percentages are different for like catch rates, but because this was giving me trouble, I went ahead and took a look at everything. And actually, I think this is later when we went back and fought the Flan boss. But whatever. At some point, I was having trouble, and I went back and looked. And I found that one of the pokes that I caught was was also a saboteur, but was much better. And it starts off, like, literally when I caught it at level 1 with, like, Deprotectga or some shit like that. Like, really good. And if you level it up just a bit, it gets a few more amazingly high-level skills really fast. And then after it gets to, like, level 15, it's like, your next skill is at level 65.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, this guy is really good. I'm going to go and go ahead and have this guy be my saboteur, but I'm not going to be really trying to get all the way to that super high level stuff until obviously later in the game, because those items, we don't even have the items that you need to do that. Because, after a certain point, you can't use the basic upgrade items. You got to use the better upgrade items. But anyway, after I did that, the funny thing is when I finally fought him with all these upgrades, I couldn't get any of the debuffs to take, and then I just switched back to using my normal strategy, and then I beat him. My normal strategy of like using like diversity and like commando, ravager, like that kind of shit. I just did that. I guess I was just doing bad the first time and just got good. I don't know.
I managed to beat the dragon on my first try, but it was really hard. It's weird how I feel like for me, difficulty doesn't always correspond with how many tries it takes. Like something for me can feel extremely difficult. Like I played through Returnal, and Returnal is an extremely hard video game, and I found it extremely hard, but I beat every boss except the first one on my first try. And I actually got through the final biome on my first try.
Yeah. Sometimes the game's really hard, but you rise to the challenge, And other times it's easy and you're off your game and you don't. Like, yeah, I Bernard knows this. Anyone who's hung around me while playing video games has heard me use the phrase, it's not even that hard, which is what I say after failing something for the 10th time. And I'm frustrated not because it's too hard, but because it's not even that hard. Why is it taking me so many tries to get this?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Noel and Sarah return to Sunleth Waterscape, and Snow confirms they've weakened the Flan, but it's still too strong. They figure there might be another paradox, a double paradox. So they find another artifact and gate. The gate takes them to Colosseum, year unknown. The hot voice has nothing to say about this place as of now. It's a huge, spooky arena. A creepy voice creepily asks Noel and Sarah what they think they're doing here. They see the source of the voice, which is a big, freaky being thing called the Arbiter of Time. He says that this realm is beyond the march of time, beyond life and death. Until the bell of the goddess tolls, this realm welcomes not the living. He tells them to leave. They'll only bring calamity. He already has an omen of misfortune to deal with. They figure the omen is the paradox, so they ask him to give it to them, and they'll leave. He gives it to them and disappears, saying the day of reckoning has not yet come. That was easy. After a bit of dialogue that leads up to this sort of naturally, Noel gives a big long monologue about how much Snow sucks. Sarah seems used to these kinds of monologues by now. Noel and Sarah return to Sunleth Waterscape to find the Flan is severely weakened, but also that Snow nearly got himself killed trying to fight it alone. They fight the Flan. After the battle, Noel gives a monologue about how much he hates Snow for thinking he's everyone's hero, but not being able to protect anyone. it becomes clear that he's projecting. And at this point, I'm like feeling like Noel is a weird guy, and a lot of his writing feels like he's like 14. He feels like he's Hope from the first game's age, not a grown man, which, I don't know, maybe he looks older than he is. Maybe living at the end of time gives you some Arrested Development. Yeah. I don't know.
I didn't really get that feeling, but on the other hand, I did do half of this before the last chapter because we had forgotten to decide which part we were doing. So I didn't get it all condensed like you did. But I don't know. I've really come around on Noel. At first, he was just like some guy, like, what's this Kingdom Hearts ass motherfucker doing? I think that he and Sarah have a really great rapport. It's fun that they're going around, and yeah, I don't know. I think he like he doesn't seem like a protagonist, that's for sure. He just seems like, actually, I don't think Sarah does either. I think both of them just seem like just some guy, like they're just some random person instead of being like a cool JRPG hero. So he's just like some guy, but he does want to save the day, and he definitely, as you said, has some shit that's got him feeling some kind of way. And I don't know what that is. Well, I mean, we do know one thing, you know. He's got that shit with Yule, so like I guess Cirrus got him acting unwise in some way. But yeah, I don't know. I think that his weirdness makes perfect sense, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it develops. Though it is true that he goes on one or two too many Snow fucking sucks monologues. So we all do agree that he's right.
We all agree that he's right, but also I feel like it's weird behavior to be like, hey, my good buddy, your fiance fucking sucks and I hate him.
Yeah, it's not exactly tactful.
Yeah, like, and it doesn't seem like it's coming from a place of genuine concern, like you need to reconsider your relationship with this person, my good friend. It's just, I fucking hate your boyfriend.
He sucks. Yeah, no, it's definitely kind of funny. And like you said, he's clearly very projecting.
Yes. Anyway, they talk a little and Snow starts to disappear. Noel says the timeline is correcting itself. Snow is from a past that no longer exists, so he's being erased from this era. Sarah is not okay. She says she can't lose him over and over. He says it's okay. Heroes never die. Sarah just now notices a LaCie brand on Snow's arm and is like, what? But Snow disappears.
Did we all notice this earlier?
Yes.
Yeah. My girlfriend noticed it in like the first cutscene he was in. He was like, "Hey, yo, why does he still have a LaCie brand?" And I was like, "Oh, good call, babe. I don't know." Part of me was like, did they just accidentally forget to get rid of it when they were modifying the character model? But no, it turns out it's important.
And I guess Sarah also wasn't paying as too much attention, like me, because I didn't notice. Yeah. Anyway, Snow disappears. Noel, rather than comforting Sarah, starts saying weird shit and hypothesizes that Snow became a LaCie willingly because he needed the power of a LaCie to protect someone. Sarah says, but LaCie are doomed whether they succeed or fail. Who would do that? Noel says Snow only cares about the people he's trying to protect. He doesn't care about himself or the consequences. Noel says again that he hates Snow, but also he understands him. Sarah is filled with determination. She says this time she'll save Snow. Noel says he'll help her. They find an artifact and step through a gate. We see Caius and Yule watching. He asks if she will allow this. She says it's not for her to decide. Noel and Sarah are thrust back into the void beyond. They decide this horrific no space outside of time is a good place for a break. Sarah asks about Yule. Noel says he doesn't think she's a time traveler. She's like a reincarnation, born anew, over and over. In each generation of the Farseers, a girl with the same face and power is born. Sarah says she's been thinking, if they keep resolving paradoxes and changing the timeline, won't the future Knowles from go away? He says it's okay if it does. It'd be better if it never happened at all. The end of the game. Weird ending. I guess Lightning Returns Final Fantasy XIII wraps up these plot threads.
So that's kind of the end. I want to mention a couple things because I play the game a little bit different than y'all, right? So fun thing is I don't know how this happened. So if you recall back, in the day, when we first got to Chapter 3, I picked the other of the two routes and went here first. And that initial fight where you fight the Flan, just like right when you get there, is bitch hard if you're fighting it at that point in the game instead of after doing Chapter 3.1. But I did manage to get through it. And then we met Snow, and we talked, and we got the ability to do Moogle Throw by being on top of the back of the big turtle, and all that. And then we got to the point where they were like, oh, we gotta go somewhere else, right? We gotta go get another artifact or whatever. But then at that point, we were like, oh, actually, we're doing the other path. Okay. So I just immediately I didn't continue at all. I just yeeted out of there, thought I'll come back later, right? So then we went and we did the stuff last week. And I got confused because some stuff y'all were saying didn't match up with what I was saying. And now I realize it's because I had done a little bit of this chapter. The game had modified itself a little bit to make canonical sense with the way I had played it, which is cool. There are a number of differences, but the only main one that really matters that I really remember is that remember how at the end of last time we complete our adventure with Hope or whatever, and then we're like, cool, time to go home, and then it throws us into the dimensional no space. Well, for me, it threw me into where I could pick between 3 different dimensional no spaces. The first one was the one that we went to here. What's that one called?
The Void Beyond.
Void Beyond. I could also pick the Colosseum, and I could also pick one that I don't remember what was the name at the time.
The locked area.
Yeah, but I could pick it. So, and it didn't even tell me which one I was supposed to pick, so I didn't even know that the Void Beyond was my goal here. So, I forget which one I went to first. I think I went to Void Beyond last, actually. But anyway, so first I go to the Colosseum, and here's the thing. You get to the Colosseum, according to what y'all just said, you go to the Colosseum by unlocking that gate from Sunleth. From Sunleth, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I never did that, but I guess I did get I got the artifact, but I definitely didn't go through it, because I would have remembered that. But I guess because I gotten the artifact, that when they threw me to the Void Beyond, I could also go to the Colosseum at that point. And then they had this whole thing where they were like, they got this item, and then they're like, cool, let's go give this back to Snow. Which we hadn't, I guess we'd had the conversation about how we needed it, but what was funny was that I just figured I was like, how come they're not talking about the Colosseum? You know what I mean? I was figuring that it was like, you go to the Colosseum, you get the item, and then they're like, cool, we got item for no reason. Great. And then in my version, they're like, we got it for Snow, right? But then the other unique place you can go to is I forget what the UI actually calls it once I went there. But you get there, and you're very clearly at some kind of whimsical golden saucer theme park type place, and the architecture very clearly looks like not golden saucer. The architecture looks like Kingdom Hearts shit, like big, like. Is
this the area with the big locked door?
Right.
Yes, I've been there. Did we not talk about it?
We talked about it. We talked about it last week. Yeah.
Oh, we did. Okay. Well, there's a follow up here then. Although apparently y'all didn't get the follow up, or maybe you just didn't click on it yet. Okay.
At the end of this episode, something changed about it in the Historia Crux.
Yeah. So it turns out that once you finish this chapter, you unlock 2 new areas. One of the new areas is Chapter 4 of the game, and and the other area is that we can go back to that place. And so y'all didn't go?
No.
No, I
well,
finished
last time
for the week.
Last time we went there, we opened up a chest, and the chest had like a casino key or something, or casino ticket, and we're like, okay, cool. But still, yeah, it's this blasted out gray nothing place. Now, for no particular reason, if you go there, it's the Golden Saucer. Not literally, but it's this game's version of the Golden Saucer.
I opened up a separate place that is this game's Golden Saucer. It was not at the locked door. The locked door was still said the locked door in the UI.
Oh, but okay. Oh, well, maybe those two places still both exist, but it is the same thing because the architecture is the same. Like that locked door that's the same place. So maybe there's just two different dimensions. One of which it's a dead gray locked door, and the other one it's the Golden Saucer. But regardless, that is what that place is. So now we can go there. Cool, interesting. Also, the UI definitely makes it seem like Saz is going to be here, but I ran around and did not see him yet.
With the DLC, the DLC all opens up at the far left side of the Historia Crux, and one of them is Saz, and his DLC does take place at the casino, I believe. Gotcha. So maybe they just like tease him as like running the casino. And then also, did y'all happen to open up the I forget what it's even called, like the big like long tower dungeon optional thing? No. Maybe like 3 things opened up at the end of this week, and I did not investigate them because I was finished for the week. Okay, no, that's fine. I opened it up last week, and the fact, I got it last week, and I'm not sure what I did differently because I hadn't finished this chapter either. Well, we can talk about it later when we actually do it, but you also open up an area that's like one of those like, oh, this is a dungeon with like 100 floors or whatever, and it's like a big techno dungeon, and I would recommend y'all do it because it's got insanely good loot and battles, and it seems like it might be plot. I think maybe it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this is a plot necessary quest, but you can do it whenever. You know what I mean? Like maybe at some point we'll actually have to go do it. But what happened was I did. Have y'all picked up any artifacts that are like, it says something like you don't know what it's for? I might have. Turns out you probably have. So. There's like 5 of them in the game, and they're all used to get further in this dungeon. So like I had gotten 2 of them, I think, and then once I got to the end, I had to just yeet out, and I'll do more of it later, right? I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff. I did quite a bit of it last time, and then I thought, I don't know, I would recommend it, but So what was I going to say? So I just wanted to bring up the fact that since I played it a little bit different, it was like there were like when I was doing all the Hope stuff, they had occasionally in dialogue they would reference Snow, like they would reference what was going on with Snow during the Hope shit because I had played half of it. It was really cool. That cool. Is really interesting, and I was wondering about that, like what the extent of that is, because at the end of episode 3-2, they do mention Hope briefly, so I was wondering how the dialogue would be different if you had it. Sounds like there's lots of differences. Yeah, it's quite interesting how they did that. And also, like, again, for me, like, I accidentally picked up the Colosseum fragment while I was doing the end of last time's shit. So this time, I already had that one. So it was immediately after getting back from the other place this week, from Acolyte Step, or Akilt Step. That was when I got back from there, and then it was like, oh no, Snow attacked the monster, right? Because that's the order that I did things in. I don't know. Did y'all ever figure out what year that was? It was question mark, question mark, question mark. Did that ever stop being question mark, question mark, question mark? I don't believe so. Cool.
I don't think so.
Just thought I would check because I forgot to go back and check. Yeah. All right, cool. I just wanted to fill y'all in on that weird little funniness.
Yeah, interesting. So let's listen to some interesting music and then talk about our memorable moments.
So, I got a Pokemon this week that I was really excited about. It's a Chocobo.
Yeah.
A big old real Chocobo. I had a random battle where a Chocobo showed up, and I was like, I don't want to fight a Chocobo. Chocobos are buddies.
I had the same response. I was like, do I have to? I feel bad killing this thing. Then I noticed it kind of had a weird red glow. So I was like, oh, it must have been like made to be bad.
I didn't notice that. But anyway, it did become my buddy, and I love it, and I am now using it all the time, and it's a really good commando.
Yeah, I
haven't used him yet.
I fed my robot to my Chocobo today because the robot is a Peaks early Pokemon, so it only has one Crystarium, so it's useless to me now. So I fed it to my Chocobo. My Chocobo is really good.
I have fired my medic to get a better medic, and I have fired my saboteur to get a better saboteur, but I have yet to upgrade to a better no, I have upgraded to a better I have found a Ravager that will be better, but I have not yet upgraded him good enough to be better than the one I already had. So once they upgrade him more, I'll eventually be, I'm basically training up the new hire to replace the old guy. But my commando is the same one I started with, whichever one that is, the tiger looking guy.
Yeah. One thing about this game is that there are separate upgrade items for robots and animals.
Weird.
But in this game, it is hard to tell the difference a lot of the time.
Yep. Is that a robot or an animal? It's like some gens of Pokemon,
Like a lot of the animals look like they're made out of plastic, and I don't know what's what.
I want to share some mem moms. One that I liked is where is it? Here we go. This was supposed to be one of the quote unquote joke answers, but I really liked it. It's when we actually not sure when the conversation happens, but I think it's after we finish. Yeah, I guess after we finish the quest, we're talking with Snow, and he's like, I'm fighting so hard for everybody. Oh, I think it's when he's like, why are you such an idiot and fight on your own? And he's like, oh, it's because I just really wanted to save the future and all that. But also, like, I wasn't just thinking about lightning. I was also thinking about Vanille and Fong, and how they're trapped in there, And then they talk about like how like Sarah has experience being a crystal, and how being a crystal is just really sucks and was nightmarish. And then Noel gets to have a dialogue option here because I'm controlling Noel, so he's the one who gets to have dialogue options. Man, this game has a lot of variables in the way things happen.
No, I don't think that changes based on...
Oh, okay.
Because there have been lots of scenes where Noel has dialogue options.
It just depends on the scene. Okay. Oh, now that I think about it, yeah, I've had some where it's Sarah, and even though I control... Yeah, you're right. Okay, so that's just scene... You control both of them, scene dependent. Anyway, I get to control Noel, and I picked what was obviously the joke option because, as we said last time, not only are they funny, but sometimes they're actually really well written. And the one that I figured was the joke option was like, how about a song? Which, when you see that in the dialogue option, that sounds really goofy. But when you actually click it, again, it's quite sweet. He goes, it's still a little funny, but we're basically talking about how, like, being trapped in a crystal is, like, it just kind of sucks. And Noel goes, you think they can hear us in there? What if you sang them a song to let them know you're here? And he said that he wasn't joking. He meant it. And then Snow was like, I think my singing voice probably would do the opposite of easing their torment. But it made me think about, like, this game. It's silly to say this game has a lot to say about hope, given that there's a character named Hope. We've discussed this, but there's a lot in this game about yearning, about hope, about praying, about wishing, about memories, and how the past and the future just kind of weigh on us. So him just being like, hey, we can't fix this problem right now, but like singing a song makes people feel better. And that's just really true. Like, sometimes normal human warmth and love are there. That's comforting. Even if you can't fix whatever the fucking problem is. So I really liked it. There's another one where Lightning says this in a narration. She says, when two people part and go their separate ways, their memories split as well. I think maybe she meant it in like a lore, kind of like a weird sci-fi sense, but it's true that once you and someone else aren't together anymore, whether it's like a partner or whatever, 3 years later, you're going to have different memories of the last 3 years. And that's something interesting to think about. It's something interesting to think about. Like, wow, I don't know what has happened to this person. It used to be that everything that happened to them I knew, and now I don't. It's weird. And then there's one more that's a video that I accidentally hit the button to record video instead of screenshot, so I have to scrub through the video to find the part that I want. So y'all go.
So I don't have any particulars, especially because I can't scrub back through and remind myself of all the things. But I really liked Snow this chapter because I didn't love him the first game. Like, he was fine, but I didn't love him. But I really liked him this time. Like, last game he was an idiot, and everyone said like he was an idiot on purpose because he just wanted to protect people, but that was what people said, not necessarily what I felt. But I really felt that about him this time, where he's like, oh, I'm gonna charge headlong in and do stupid stuff and punch all the bad feelings in the face because that's who I am. And I liked that a lot.
Nice.
I really liked Sarah's speech about how she's going to be the hero. It was really nice. I love when a character gives a speech about how they're going to be a hero. And I love a character who had a minor role before and like wasn't a hero at all. I love when they get to be a hero. Like, it made me think of all things, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, where Laura Palmer goes from being just the girl who dies at the beginning of Twin Peaks to being this like really incredible, deep, heroic character.
Mm-hmm. That's totally true. All right, so I got another one. So I decided to click. So in this game, you kind of had two different lore dumps. First, you got the data log, which is like the data log from before. And last time, if you recall, I was on data log duty. I would like to pick up that duty this time around. I just keep forgetting. This week, I actually was going to really do my due diligence, and I had a whole hour to do data log duty. But then a friend called me on the phone, and it was kind of an important phone call, so that happened instead. However, I did look at it a little bit, but in addition to the regular data log, you also have the fragments. They do what a lot of, one of the many ways that this game feels more like a modern, like, Western-style video game, like a AAA-style video game than, like, a weird kind of experimental JRPG, is that, like, like the thing that every modern fucking game does where, like, collectibles are lore. Oh, good job, you got the doodad. Now you can read a little bit about this backstory, and usually it's very boring, and I never fucking bother with it, because it's stupid. But I decided to click on them just to see, and some pretty cool stuff in here. In this case, it's the fragments. Yeah, because the fragments, you're always getting them, and getting fragments is both required for the game's progression and also optional. Like, some of them are required, some of them are optional. There's no difference between the two, which is pretty cool. So you just, 100% of the game would be getting all the fragments, not just the ones you have to get. I mean, I've already gotten, I'm sure y'all have too, gotten quite a bit of optional ones. Oftentimes you just got to pay attention. Yeah, so listen to some of these. There's some cool stuff in here. Remember that random big-ass boss we fought all the way back in the first chapter in our little sleepy seaside town named Gogmagog?
Yes.
So he's got some weird backstory. First of all, he's from the Void Beyond. Second of all, he was, and this sentence has a lot to it, banished from this world for violating the laws of time. The beast forever wanders the void in search of escape. So, capital V void. First of all, banished from this world is a little funny because it does make me wonder what world we're talking about in this sentence. This is a game that has so many parallel worlds that just saying the phrase this world like it's no big deal is a little bit question begging. And also banished by whom? Right? Also,
presumably the goddess. One
Maybe,
thing,
right?
if I can jump in, I love how the goddess was just very vaguely referenced in the first game. Like,
Yep.
it's such a minor thing, and apparently it's now being a bigger thing. I really think that's cool.
Yeah. In addition, though, it says many enchantments were needed to contain its immense power. The charms and magic skills that cover the beast are a mute testament to the courage of those who banished it. So yeah, at some point there was some big battle to banish this beast. We don't know by who or when, and it hasn't even come up in the actual plot yet. It's just here in the fragments. Another one
and
is
Sarah and Noel beat it at level 1.
They sure did. Another one. So you get 2 about Snow. These might actually have come. These might have been. I don't know which of these are plot ones, which of these are optional. I'm just going to read the ones that I found interesting. It's called The Hero's Trail, and they're written from a first-person perspective, from Snow's point of view. And I won't say too much. He's basically just like, I'm going to go off to find lightning. I believe that Sarah's telling the truth, and no one else believes her, but I do, so I'm going to go help her. And then she says she's going to leave her engagement pendant behind with Sarah. But here's the part I like. It's not the right time to get married, not while we still don't know the truth. Besides, I still need to get Lightning's blessing. And I think that's really cool. Like, he went from, like,
Aw.
Lightning is just some lady that I have to deal with if I want to marry this girl that I love, to, like, I legitimately have so much respect that I will not get married if I can't get Lightning's blessing. Like, that's cool, actually. Like, they could have just got married and then he ran off to find Lightning, right? But he's like, no, she has to be rescued because she's such an important person that she deserves our dropping everything to go save her. It's very cool. I like it. And then the second one of those. Oh, I didn't screenshot it. I guess I didn't think it was interesting. Or I forgot to screenshot it, even though it was. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, here's a good one. Ahem. The Wisdom of Moogles. A time labyrinth is a work-in-progress space that its creator couldn't be bothered to finish because of a paradox, Kupo. We can transform it into what it should be by resolving the paradox, Kupo. I'll bet the creator was lazy and irresponsible, Kupo. What? That sounds like me? No, it doesn't, Kupo. So that's troubling information that we've learned. Kupo may or may not have created the time labyrinth. There's also another one about how, like, he's not really Moogle. The actual Moogle is a little critter that lives inside of the little clock that he holds on a stick. But I believe he actually was joking when he said that.
I will not. So.
I do believe, given context and reading comprehension, that one is a joke. Mog is messing with us. Also, the game.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I think that one of y'all might have already mentioned this one, but they're talking about the vestige from before, and they basically wonder why Sarah can still use magic, and they say, quote, Sarah's not a lassie anymore, and the brain is gone, but she can still use magic. I wonder if the power just stayed inside her after she was cured. Or is it new from somewhere else? So though we haven't really established where magic comes from, we've at least established that we've at least kind of lampshaded it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just sort of changing topic. I was going to say I find it really, really funny how the paradoxes are just sort of like things, like objects. Yeah. You pick them up and hold them, and this is a paradox. And I'm like, what does that fucking mean?
Yeah, I think it would have made more sense, but the paradoxes also do cause big problems that shouldn't exist. So I feel like it would make more sense to cause the effect the paradox and call the item like a paradox
catalyst,
yeah, something, right? Like, it causes a paradox, not that thing is itself the paradox is that this monster appeared in the year 30 when it should have appeared in the year 500, right? Like, that's the paradox. So one more. Unfortunately, I do not know where this one happens. This is a fragment about some boss that we fought at some point. Sadly, I don't remember where the boss was, but whatever. It's some boss called Aloidai, and it says, Aloidai is the mortal enemy of Gog Magog. The legends say that in order to exact revenge against Gog Magog, who had caused him to be banished from his homeland, Alloydai cursed Gog Magog to wander forever in the rifts between eras. Alloydai loathes all that live in this world, and when he's defeated, he twists the surrounding space-time in an effort to take his enemies with him into death. So, yeah, there's just this really elaborate lore that is explored via fragments, and I feel like it's not going to become relevant, because to me, the main plot is like whatever's going on with Yule and shit, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that all this shit is not going to end up coming up, which is kind of cool. Oh, you know what? It reminds me of it's like the terminals in like Halo 3 or some shit.
I believe Alloydai is the monster in the Padra ruins when we first go there.
That would make sense given the why it was like 120, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got. I didn't really do min-moms. I just wanted to fill you in on that shit.
Yeah, those are dope. I was planning on reading more, but I played Halo instead. So, as one does.
Not even like a good one either. You played Halo 5.
I know. I played and gave up on Halo 5.
Yeah. Bernard, Sam was like, should I actually play Halo 5 or should I just like watch some videos of it and move on to Halo 6? Because everyone says it's not very good at that. And I was like, I hate Halo 5, but I see no reason why you shouldn't play it. You know, video games are fun. You can experience the joy of having very complex feelings about this game and hating half of it, but it does have some nice graphics. And like, you know what? It doesn't take that long. Fucking why not? But actually, no, Sam didn't get past like level 4 before piecing out. Yeah.
It's just not good.
It's just not good at all. It sucks. On like a basic level, not like a complex. Maddie Grace and Sam have weird opinions about Halo way, because we do, but that's not why it sucks.
Yeah, like I had several of those reasons why it sucked for like the first 3 levels, but by the end of level 4, I was like, no, I'm just shooting the same enemies down boring gray hallways.
It's just a badly designed video game, which is something that I will not say about even my least favorite Halo games, except for 5. Like, I would never say they're not fun to play. Like, Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, they attempt to do a prestige tour in level 3.
Oh, and yeah, that shit sucks.
Halo was not designed for prestige tours, and also nothing fucking happens, so it's not a good prestige tour.
Yeah, it's dumb. They're like, you know, the Halo everyone loved. What if we just made it a AAA? Like, what if we just made it like a Naughty Dog game? Like, we took all these cues from like modern like AAA game blockbuster game trends, and not only is it not appropriate for Halo, but also they didn't do a good job.
Yeah, it was not good. But what is good is heading on over to www.rpgbook.club and donating some money so that we can play even more freakishly long and or freakishly short games. We are currently already in the bag for Lightning Returns, and we are making our way towards earning Metal Gear Solid 1, which will be my like 900th attempt to actually get through the game. I love the game, I just can't play it, and I'm real bad at it. So this will force me to get good finally. So come force me to get good at our website. And when you do so, you will unlock access to the Book Club No Kaseki episodes a month before everyone else. We, as of today, we are back and in business. We took a hot minute off because Matt had some stuff he was going through. So we took some time off, and now we're back and making our way through Kevin Game. And Kevin Game might be the best one. It's good. It's very weird. It's only the best one because the other two are really good and get all of the like normal good stuff out of the way. Kevin Game is weird and wonky and singular, and it's good, and I like it.
Sam, I just got a really good idea I'm going to put out here on the actual recording so fans can hear the idea and have their own idea if it's good or not. So we're doing Metal Gear Solid for Shortcast, right?
Mhm.
Well, that makes perfect sense. Metal Gear Solid 1 is kind of a standalone, and doing the rest of Metal Gear would be kind of a big up. But I think after doing Metal Gear Solid 1 as a shortcast, we should totally consider doing Metal Gear Solids 2, 3, and 4 as a long cast.
Okay.
That'd be fun. Because what I'm saying is Metal Gear Solid 1 totally stands on its own, but also the entire Metal Gear series together is a different beast entirely. And MGS5 is way too long, so
Yeah.
I'm not including that one.
Maybe.
Also, Metal Gear Solid 5 and Peace Walker are kind of their own thing that stand apart from 2, 3, and 4.
Exactly. I call it the prequel trilogy, right?
Yeah, but like you gotta play 3 if you're gonna play 4.
The latter day Metal Gear series, which I consider everything made after 4, so Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, and Phantom Pain, to be almost a different series in terms of gameplay, in terms of themes, in terms of just like vibe, concept. They're way less funny. They're primarily focused on like geopolitics. Anyway, MGS 2, 3, and 4. If any one of y'all are out there listening and think that's a good idea, you should say so, because I think it is. For the record, I thought of this idea 3 minutes ago, so I haven't put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, let us know if we should do that, and also let us know if we should do the same thing, but for Halo, because we already did Halo 1, and
also not a bad idea.
Yeah, so, other than that, I think that's everything I have to talk about. So for RPG Book Club Longcasts, I have been Sam Allman.
I'm David Bernard Hauk.
And I'm Maddie Grace Webb.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye, dorks.
Special sign off for LongCast for Final Fantasy 13, right?
No.
That's a shame.